Hi guys, welcome to Impossible Creatures, Why I Got My Butt Kicked. I used to play this game a very long time ago. Uh, very long time ago. I don't want to talk about how long ago, but I kind of stopped playing when Impossible Creatures Online, the game's built-in multiplayer option, was shut down by the company that made the game. Um, Since then, I've played single player a couple of times, but I haven't played much multiplayer at all, so I'm not very good at the game anymore. It's now come back out on Steam, which is amazing, and I can now play it again, multiplayer, which is fantastic, but everyone is playing this mod called Tellurian. Now, I don't know anything about this mod, but I want to learn. So I thought, let me make a video showing my process learning the mod so that newbies who are completely new to the game as a whole can learn from me and learn from my mistakes as I get my butt kicked by people who've been playing the game this whole time over and over and over and over and over. Anyways, I will walk you guys through my thought process as I build an army, as I play a few matches, and we'll see how well I do. If eventually I'm able to start winning games, maybe I'll change the name of this series. Otherwise, I hope you guys learned something, even if it's not how to win. Anyways, let's get started and dive into the army builder. Alright, here we are in the Army Builder. For those of you who are totally new to this game, the way this works is you dive into the combiner, select two animals, for example, a bull and a chameleon, and then you can select their different body parts, mix and match, getting the creature you want. So for example, the chameleon's tail gives us camouflage, which makes it invisible on the map as long as it's not attacking. The bull's hind legs give us charge, which allows him to charge into melee. In order to do melee, we want something like the bull's horns, which allow it to ignore some of the defense rating of its enemies, as well as do more damage than the chameleon's bite. On the other hand, we could go as a chameleon's face, in order to get a tongue attack, which is a ranged attack. Alright, so here is my first test army. Test army 1. I actually have used this in a couple of battles, which I will show you in the next video, but in this one I just wanted to break down my thought process behind each of these creatures and why they didn't work out so well, as you'll see in the video. So the first creature is a level 1 creature. It's a coyote combined with an owl. The idea here was to get a cheap, high damage creature. 8 is relatively high damage for a level 1. And 103, well, it turns out that's a little expensive for a level 1, but I was hoping at the time it would be cheap. It can't fly, obviously. Flying automatically makes your creature a level 3. So we didn't do that. We gave it the hind legs of the snowy owl because that gives it a talon attack, and we gave it the head of the snowy owl as well because the coyote head, while it is more damage, also gives us the keen sense ability. Now you might think an ability sounds like a good thing. Well, it is, but it also raises our level to 2 and costs electricity, at which point the coyote owl doesn't meet our criteria. It's not that cheap, and it's not level 1. So that's why we created it this way. As you'll see, level 1 creatures aren't really necessary. You get to level 2 so fast that you're kind of better off just sticking with a level 1 creature. Alright, at level 2 we've got a chameleon combined with a wolf. This is a pretty good creature, all things considered. It's got a good tongue attack. 7 damage at level 1 is not bad at all. It's got the ability to camouflage, the ability to regenerate, and it's got Pack Hunter. Those are all very good things. High endurance, Not that great. It allows you to use your abilities more often and to move faster when you're normally going to be slowed down. This unit doesn't have any active abilities, so high endurance isn't that great. Now, here's where we run into problems. At level 2, 110 electricity is a ton. We just cannot afford to build a good number of chameleon wolves at this level. If we wanted to use the chameleon wolf, we would have to get rid of his tail for camouflage. This would still give us regeneration, which lets him heal over time, which is very good, but very expensive, and still give us Pack Hunter from the wolf, which allows him to do more damage when in a group. Those are both good abilities, but they're just so expensive at level 2 that I don't think the chameleon wolf ends up being worth it. We also have a level 2 melee unit, the hyena combined with Komodo dragon. This hyena has a good number of health, not too expensive in terms of coal or electricity, and pretty great melee damage, as well as regeneration and Pack Hunter. All in all, this is definitely a solid unit. One of the most solid units of my first attempt at an army, and in fact one which I end up keeping later. So, that's a good unit, the rest not so much. Next up, we're going to level 3. This is a dolphin combined with an ox. Pretty good unit in terms of the amount of damage it can do, and also it's pretty tanky. Even though we're at level 3, 7 damage is still good because a sonic attack is an area attack, unlike the chameleon's single target tongue attack. So, I'm pretty happy with this guy, but 233 coal is just a little bit too much. We aren't really able to use this unit as much as we would like because of that high cost. So in the end, I ended up trading the Dolphox for something a little bit cheaper. But this is, relatively speaking, one of our more solid units. Next up, we've got a Warthog combined with a Lioness. This is a very good unit compared to my other units in this first army. It's got very good damage for 20. It's got solid health for a level 3 unit. It's not all that expensive, although the cost in electricity is a little higher than I'd really like to pay. Where it shines is its abilities. Herding gives it a defensive bonus. Pack Hunter gives it an attack bonus. So this guy has both. That's pretty badass. He also has the ability to leap attack, thanks to the lioness hind legs, and horns, which allows him to ignore some of the enemy's defense. This is a pretty solid unit, a little too expensive once again, but not a bad choice overall. Next up, this is our Rattle Raff. It's a giraffe combined with a rattlesnake, and it's a very, very dangerous unit. At level 4, 369 coal is not all that bad. Regeneration and camouflage means that he can run into melee, take some damage, flee, and heal up all on his own. His very solid damage level means that he can very, very effectively hit and run. We can run in, attack, do some poison damage, get out of the way, and heal back up. Very solid unit, and one of the best units I got out of my training army. I do end up subbing it out for something else eventually, but it's a tough call because this is still one of my favorite units. Next up, another level 4 unit, an artillery unit, an archerfish combined with a moose. The moose gives us a good size and very solid health. The archerfish gives us very good artillery damage. To be honest, I haven't gotten to use this one very much because at the moment I usually tend to lose before level 4. What I do know though is that 341 coal is not that ridiculous for this level unit, and so I think it's still a relatively solid choice overall. At level 5 we've got this. It's a shield bug combined with a mammoth. 21 damage is not amazing, but with Frenzy and Horns, it ends up being a lot more effective damage because Frenzy buffs the amount of damage we do, while Horns reduces the enemy's defense. With Defensive Cloud, we can completely prevent the enemy from being able to range attack us. If they do end up ranged attacking, we can deflect them anyways thanks to the shield bug's shiny carapace, which deflects attack back. At level 5, the high electricity cost is not so bad, so it's a solid unit, although I do end up subbing it out for something that I think is a little better. Finally, our level 5 ranged attacker is a behemoth combined with a chameleon. This is a pretty badass unit. Hovering from the behemoth's back allows him to reach hard-to-access places and rain ranged attacks down on the enemy. That is pretty cool. With regeneration and camouflage, we can flee by hovering away and heal back up without losing these units, making this massive damage dealer pretty effective at hit and run. So a solid unit, not bad at all. So this is my army, the first army I used. We'll find out how it does in a couple of battles in just a moment. Well guys, this is the end of this video, but tune in next time as we'll go through some of these replays where I played against a couple of different people and against the AI, testing out my army. We'll find out how good I am, hint, not very, look at the name of the show, and we'll see how good my army performs. Then, we'll modify my army based on the lessons we learn in these battles. So, tune in next time, and until then, have a good one.